Yes, we are in this bitch again. We are missing Billy and Boyd yet again. His girlfriend is having some problems there, but we'll...
Some medical problems, not mental problems.
Yeah, it's not like us. She's having normal people problems.
Yeah, she's having real problems.
Oh, man. So, we've been kind of slacking off lately. There's been a lot of coronavirus stuff going on, as everybody knows.
What?
Yeah, man. People not being able to breathe. People still going to the fucking beach. Dude, they closed down our fucking beaches here. And... like, they close off the parking lots with those big yellow bars and the chains and the locks and stuff. And now people just park across the street and walk over.
Yeah, there's a park right around the corner from me. They've got yellow caution tape and, like, sawhorses up in the entrance saying parking lot closed. But people just park in the neighborhood directly across the street and walk over there. I saw 5 people on one bench swing today.
Yeah, it's not going away. And, yeah, it's a disaster. It's even gotten into Blade Show, man. Blade Show's delayed now, too.
At least it's only delayed and not canceled. I think that's for the best. Although it's going to be hot as fuck in Georgia in August.
Yeah, it's really not too much difference in heat, but...
That's true. It was, a 2-degree difference?
Yeah, that's what I ended up... I'm a data guy, so I have to look up all that stupid shit. But yeah, hopefully that August date stays because, as you know, people have to, like, book the day after Blade Show in the morning in order to even get a hotel for Blade Show. Like,
oh, yeah.
If you're staying at the Waverly or whatever it is.
Well, I mean, even with the house that we had rented, there was one guy that had already put in his time request off from work, had already purchased his plane ticket, and he lives out of country, so he had to try and reschedule all of that, which I'm sure he was able to do. I mean... a 2-month difference, that should be okay, but still, what a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And not to mention, it's everybody gets sick pretty much at Blade anyway. I know, like, every year there's, like, at least 3 or 4 people in the house who get sick.
What? Really? You sure that's not just a days-long hangover?
Well, that's part of it. That doesn't help.
Oh, okay.
What year was it? 2017 or so? I can't remember. It was the year that the 87 came out. That's all I can remember. But what's his name? Chris Lau, however you say his last
Lawley.
Name. He got a respiratory infection, or not a respiratory infection. He got a sinus infection. A few people did.
No shit.
Yeah, I called it Blades. Blade AIDS.
BLAIDS.
Exactly.
Wow,
so
I was not aware of that. Maybe it's just like an environmental thing.
Genetic weakness.
Because I don't think Lolly is anywhere near Georgia in his everyday life.
Yeah, no, and I think Kat was the other person who got it. So I know them two for sure ended up getting sinus infections.
Jeez.
Those weak Ohio genes.
It might just be, it's probably just the Ohio gene.
Billy's been tempered, so he vapes a lot.
Oh, yeah, I got to get that
helps.
humidity in your lungs to protect yourself from the blades.
Yeah, exactly, That's why nothing phases Florida, man, We've only got like 500 deaths here from the COVID, dude. We're strong.
Jeez. There's been a lot more deaths than that in Tennessee. But I like to consider myself an honorary Floridian because I lived down there for 5 years, and I still have a Florida phone number, so I'm still a Florida man. Just temporarily based in Tennessee.
There was a video all over the internet the other day where Pensacola, I can't remember the name of the area, but some of the projects had like a block party, and there was like 300-400.
Oh yeah, that's the neighborhood I was living in when I was growing pot.
Yeah,
that's literally the same neighborhood, but it was like 2 streets behind where I was living at.
That's awesome.
Oh, so that house I was living in, so it's like on the first street from the main road in that neighborhood. So we're in the very front of the neighborhood, which is probably how I got busted. But that house, completely demolished. Every other house around it, still standing. But the house that I lived in for a year and a half is completely demolished. There's not even a concrete slab there anymore.
Thank God, probably. All the disease-ridden shit going on in there.
Yeah, there was some shady shit going on in there. And when we moved out, when we pulled the washer and dryer out of the laundry room, there was just a black mold covering that whole fucking wall.
Oof.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's why I can't breathe right now.
Section 8, man.
Shit, I
how it
wish.
goes.
Rent money? Yes, please.
Yeah, no kidding. Everybody's got their stimulus checks coming in good. Everyone's spending them on knives, I hope, because they're all for sale. I see knife sales going on everywhere.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for the check, and I'm trying to sell some of my knives. I'm surprised.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that people that are still employed were signing up for that stimulus check. Because I mean, I'm still working.
Yeah.
I got paid today, but I've seen other people that are still employed getting the check. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I see that too, man. People employed still getting it, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, and more power to them. Get that money, you know.
Yeah, and apparently it has. I just read it a few minutes ago before we got on the cast that it's not affecting tax returns as people said they are the next year. So.
Yeah, I've read mixed things about it. I've heard some people saying it's coming out of your tax refund. I've heard it's a loan, but I think it's just free money.
We all know they're going to get their money back somehow.
Probably from our grandchildren, but they will get their money back for sure.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of good things to say about our governmental structure for sure.
Very few do, I'm sure.
Yeah, everybody's kind of used to us like bitching about stuff and complaining and
well, that's what we do.
Speaking our
what the fuck
mind.
else do they expect?
Well, that's why we're good for the podcast. We can talk about shit and not really care.
So I've already got a very specific kind of reputation, anyways. That shit, both.
Yeah,
of us
man.
do, really.
Oh yeah. I've already got a lot of people who hate me just for speaking my mind and calling people out.
Yeah,
that's just how it has to be. I admin a page, you admin a page. We both run a podcast. We can't be too bad.
No, I still get people that talk with me and are friendly, and they send me heart emojis. So as long as I got that, I'm good.
As long as each comment that I make gets like 3 laugh reacts, I'm good.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, that's a high bar.
Yeah, that's why I can't participate too much. My ego will be dropped so far if I don't get those laugh reacts.
That's why I just stick to trolling boomer pages, because I get those reacts that way.
Oh man,
my personal page is just a shit show. It can be gore or it can be wholesome content. I don't give a shit what people comment on that.
Yeah, I'm mostly just a lurker. I ended up posting a few things. I ended up making a personal Instagram so I can like throw music and stuff up on it and not have to worry about, oh, where's all your knife stuff, man?
Oh, I didn't know you didn't have a personal IG account.
Yeah, I did kind of do personal stuff on the other one, but I never even go on it anymore.
No, IG that's one platform I really don't pay enough attention to. I like it. I prefer it over Reddit. But
yeah,
whenever I get something cool in the mail or I take a cool picture, I'll put it on Instagram, share it to my Facebook page, and then when the Instagram notifications come up, I just swipe them away and I'll check the Facebook notifications. On Instagram, it's some guy, oh, wicked sick picture, bro. Fuck out of here.
Morgan McQueenie. Yep. And there's another guy, John Vadek or whatever. I think he does that too all the time.
There's a few of them that use that wicked sick line way too often.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of like what you said earlier, man. Like, I really like to have the discussion side and the back and forth going on. You don't have that on Instagram, man. It's a picture and it goes away.
You can have that back and forth on Instagram, but with the comments being hidden on the mobile app anyways, going through it all is just, it's not as easy as Facebook. I know Facebook is kind of the boomer social media app now, but it's just so much easier.
Don't call me out like that, man. Jesus Christ.
Hey, that's where all my shit is at too, man.
Jeez. But yeah, it would be nice if they could like consolidate like all the likes into one notification like they do on Facebook.
Yes, instead of having 30 separate fucking notifications. Ugh.
Yeah, no kidding. And God forbid you actually reach some actual influence and you get like 100 and then you miss all the comments.
I would just delete the app at that point.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I've done, because I get a decent amount of of views on all my stuff. I haven't posted anything there since fucking Blade Show. So
Yeah, I'll post stuff maybe once a month. With this new BRS sponsorship program, I have to post. I have to post more often than I have been. So I'm trying to, and it doesn't have to be videos, or it doesn't have to be me flipping or anything, but it's got to be some type of content. So I'm trying to keep up with it. I just started with the T-shirt I got in the mail yesterday that I won between the battle between you and I, which I still think.
Oh, I was
you
supposed to
won
get a
that one.
T-shirt for that too. Bullshit. Fucking Billy. He said he was going to send us both T-shirts.
Oh, that motherfucker! He made it sound like I was a special one.
Well, apparently you are. Thank God he's not on this podcast. That'd be fucking
Fuck
ripping
you, Billy.
a new one.
No, I'm kidding. I love Billy.
Bitch ass. Yeah, Billy is definitely an asset to this production for sure. We would still be in the dark ages.
Well, he's just a good friend too.
Oh yeah, for sure. And all those guys, KZ and Ed, I'm sure I could be like, hey guys, you got a T-shirt I can have? And they'd fucking send one out the next day. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah.
That's kind of my relationship with all of the makers at this point. Is
Still, I feel that that's just taking advantage. Yeah. Like if I want something, I'm going to go to the website and buy it. I'm not going to ask them. I'm not going to go to Amazon.
Yeah, dude, I had Derek when I was doing the Benchmade thing.
Derek
out
Lau?
in Vegas. Yeah. He came, we were walking to my place after the show, and he was like, dude, is there anything we can do for you? Like, seriously, all you do is show up and do shit for us. And I was like, you guys gave me a knife and shit, what? Should you give me more knives? I don't know.
Yeah, I always have a hard time asking
really
for
want.
Things.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's just how we were raised. Because I know some people don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Some people expect it.
Yeah, I guess some people do. You get a lot of people who show up to these makers and stuff at shows like, hey man, you give me some free stuff and I can be an influencer and shit like that. It's like, dude.
I mean,
all
just
I'm
like
here to do is
Lucas
help out.
was saying in the last episode, people approach him constantly saying, hey, send me free shit and I'll be, I'll post your shit on my 50 follower account IG.
Yeah, and it's not like we have a lot of followers, but I think
no.
I think we have a huge percentage of quality followers,
Yeah.
And that would,
yeah.
I could even compare that to like companies like BRS. I would say that, I can't remember last time I looked. I think I have like somewhere in the area of 2,400 followers.
Jesus Christ. I think I've only got like 1,500.
Which is amazing, I know. But, compared to people like 50 Shades of Grey and, or 50 Shades of Blade, I should say. Awesome guy. And BRS and Hom and all those guys, I would say, a larger percentage of those guys see my stuff, and are interested in my stuff. I mean, I don't know exactly how I'd measure that, and it's not like I even go on Instagram anymore.
Well, I don't think there's any really metric to base that off of, but I mean, you're 100% correct. I think, I feel that our followers are quality people. They're not just the one guy that just got into flipping 2 days ago and decided to follow every Balisong page on the internet,
Oh, man.
Which is cool.
I stripped my screw. How do I get it out?
Oh, Jesus. Throw it away and buy a new one is what you do.
Yeah, we had that Polish kid get kind of upset about that the other day, and I had to meme him. So,
what did he get upset about? I know the kid you're talking about, but what did
he ended up he stripped his screw, taken apart his knife, and tried to blame it on the previous owner.
Oh,
even though
shocker.
he already had, even though he already had the other handle out. And now's the time you ask the question. And me and Will, who's an auto mechanic himself too.
Smedley?
Yeah. We basically told him, it was like, dude, if you're stripping screws, you need to put the tools down and you need to get somebody professional to pull that out, or else you're going to ruin your fucking knife.
If he hadn't already.
Yeah, you're going to end up cutting holes into it or cutting a fucking slot around the whole thing, and it's going to look like Bonger's fucking T2. And it's going to look like a fucking mess,
Yeah, I mean, it is a learning curve. It's people see a screw and they think, oh, I'll just unscrew it. But there's so much more to it than that with the Balisong, with how they're Loctited and how they're set up. I mean, shit, I had to take apart a replicant about 6 months ago or so, and I'm not new at this, and that thing still gave me so much trouble to take apart. My God.
Yeah, everything's become, because of the whole tap thing that's been going on, right? Everybody wants no
No,
tap.
I'm not going to recognize that. Tap is not a real thing.
People don't want play in their knives. That's what we used to call it, We used to call it play, and in fact, your knife wasn't broken in until it had play. Do you remember all those threads we used to have? Once the channels of the latch lined up on the opposite sides of each other, that's when you had the good amount of play.
Yeah, that's how you wanted it to be.
Yeah, that was perfect. And nowadays, if it moves a fucking cunt hair, it's a shitty knife, and BRS is ripping you off, or Squid's ripping you off, or
this QA
whatever,
is bullshit. Do not check their knives anymore. This is garbage. Who wants it? $10. Get out of here.
Yeah, and every single time it's some 15-year-old kid or something who has no idea what he's talking about,
or somebody with a 15-year-old brain. Anyways, I've seen some old people be on that bullshit.
Yeah, usually it's less, because at least most of those people have had to change a tire or some shit in their life,
Yeah, and most 50-year-olds aren't just getting into the knife world with the Balisong. It's definitely a young man's game right now.
Yeah, they started out on a $110 or shit
you took the words right out of my mouth. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, that was low-hanging fruit. That's not even fair.
I mean, it's not wrong either, though.
It's not wrong, but it's a low-hanging fruit. Oh, man.
I mean, shit, that's what I started out on when I was like 5, 6. It was like your single blade, what's it called now? Like gentleman folders?
Oh, yeah, I have no idea.
Not exactly a buck 110, but it was a...
those lockback kind of shits,
Didn't even have a lock on it. You just pushed it a little bit and it shut,
Oh, I can't remember what those are called. Whatever.
Tension, like what the Swiss Army knives use.
Yeah, that's actually what I started on. I was maybe about 7 or so, and my grandfather gave me like this blue, tiny little keychain sized Swiss Army knife. Oh yeah. And the craziest thing about it, I was more excited about the scissors in it, man. I was walking around the family reunion cutting leaves and shit.
When I was in the Cub Scouts, when I was a Tiger Cub, I think my dad took me to a local store there in Memphis, and I got to pick out a knife, and it was just it was a piece of shit, but it was a little Swiss Army knife, it fit in my little kindergarten-sized pocket just fine.
Yeah, man. I met your dad, man. I actually ate some of his fries, I think.
I think you and Kat did.
Yeah, we did. We showed up and raided your little family reunion there.
But he's that kind of guy. He didn't mind sharing his fries. He's a good dude. I love my dad.
Oh, no, man. Yeah, your dad's awesome. Not exactly the person I would expect to be your dad. Your dad's well more refined than you are.
Oh, him and I are night and day, man.
Yeah, maybe you get that from your mom. I don't know. But
I don't know where I got any of my personality from. I know where I got my mental disorders from.
Yeah,
my mom.
Love you, Miss Hobson.
Have you not met my mom? Well, no, I guess you've never been to Tennessee.
No, okay. I've been thinking about moving there.
Don't move to Memphis. The rest of Tennessee is fine.
Yeah, no, I would never move to Memphis.
No, Memphis is an armpit of the state.
Well, to get off track of knife-related stuff, I've been thinking about moving up with either Will, who's also he's in Chattanooga.
Yeah, he was a great spot.
Or
and he's only a few hours away from me. He's not too far from me. He was like an hour away until I realized that, and then he moved like 3 hours away from me.
Yeah, that motherfucker's moving all the time. But he works at the Volkswagen plant, so he was telling me they needed a lot of people there, so I was thinking about doing that.
Well, I'm tired
of being a mechanic.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, let's not talk about all that shit again.
That shit got shut down a few days ago.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, I've been
but also with Chase. Chase is in
Cookeville. Yeah,
near Cookeville, and the main attraction to me there is they mechanics. I'm a mechanic by trade. If most people don't know that, so they get paid about 20% more than mechanics in Florida do. But the cost of living in Tennessee is about
it's so cheap.
It's 80% of what Florida is, or better. So
Pensacola was pretty fucking cheap, man. I paid $150 a month rent where I was living at on the water on 3 acres of land.
Damn. Yeah, that lower Alabama will get you, man.
Oh, it's so nice. Fucking love LA. And here in Memphis, rent is enormous. Somebody I know, she pays $750 or $800 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment.
Man,
and it's in the air quotes popular part of town, but it's old and run down and no central anything, you know.
Yeah, man. Realistically, I just want to get closer to flippers is what I want to do, because I think that's the big thing in our community that really drives, I should say, at least the motivated people back, is we don't have a lot of resources to us. Like Billiam up there in Ohio, he's got probably the most resources. He's probably the most resourceful guy out of all of us.
Oh yeah.
You know, he can flip good, he can film good, he can edit good, he knows a whole lot of shit about audio and music and all kinds of crazy shit. You know, he's a one-man show just about. Most people don't realize that about Billy, but he's got all the shit you need.
No, that dude is talented as fuck.
But, you know, you can't do all of that stuff yourself. You can't. It's even hard to do it with two people.
I mean, you can, but fuck me, is it taxing?
Yeah, it's super taxing. You know, he has to do a lot of shit by himself, especially just doing the shit he does with BRS. So
and that's just one piece of his life, the BRS stuff. He does stuff on his own. I mean, even at Blade Show, he's got the camera set up. He's got the mentality of, okay, I need to set the camera here. The lighting has to be there. The flipper has to be over there. Like he's very methodical with everything he does.
Yeah, I was doing photography and videography stuff in high school. So that's what I originally went to school for, was to do shit like that. I ended up doing more graphic designing stuff. And, you know, I realized that I didn't want to be in front of a computer my entire life. So
I didn't either, but here I fucking am.
Yeah, I didn't realize how fast the modern age was closing in on us.
Yep, all day. Every day at work, I'm sitting in front of multiple monitors.
It's the computer or the phone, pretty much. You're almost always in front of doing something. Or a tablet, you know?
That's why I got to wear glasses now.
Yep. That's that fucking life. But yeah, you know, once... I feel like the next big thing, and I'm kind of letting the cat out of the bag here because you know, this has been my plan for a while, is, you know, I really wanted to get a solid crew together in, you know, either a house or something like that, where we could dedicate a certain amount of time per week where we would just focus on Balisong stuff. You know, where we could put out legitimately quality films, where we could legitimately promote products and brands.
I mean, you know my financial situation that I'm in. Yeah. I would move anywhere in the world to be able to do that if I had a job lined up first, because I can't have a job, you know.
That's really the problem, is, you know, not only is getting people jobs. I think if you ended up in that situation, I usually say 5 people, but that's a lot of wishful thinking. But if you had 5 people and you had, you know, at least 3 to 4 of those people, probably need 4 of them, with the part-time jobs, you could end up supplementing everything else with Balisong related stuff, because we're not in a situation that we were back in 2014 where me and you were doing fucking shit for free and getting our asses cut and having to pay the price for it, and getting nothing but, hey, thanks, a slap on the ass and a thank you for your time.
Here's the new Venturi model, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, you can really push some stuff now, especially if you have a solid crew together and you're pushing out quality content, I know, like, those guys who are doing the Around Square and Beglieri stuff, those guys were getting like $50 per video for doing like a solid edit.
Dude, if I got $50 a video, I would not be sitting on all this footage like I am right now.
Yeah, no kidding, dude. And that's what I'm saying. The Balisong stuff's already there. It's just you need to have a solid crew together. For one, you need to have somebody who's willing to push the business side of that, which I think is the hardest person to find.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's the hardest thing to do. Because I can do everything else except that.
We can flip, we can film,
I can edit.
But everybody knows I have a hard time asking for money. Like that's the hardest thing for me to do. I can't.
Well, it's not the asking for money part that's hard. It's how to go about asking for money that I find difficult.
Yeah. Oh, I can take care of that.
Like how do I structure this sentence in a way that's going to benefit both of us, and it'll make both of us happy.
Yeah.
I mean, Corbin put up a post a week ago about his company that's hiring, and I almost sent him a message like, hey, let me come live with you for a little while and work for this company just to be closer to, people like Corbin, obviously, and Adam and Mitchell and Bill and Kat, they're all in that same general area. Yeah,
you'd be better off moving over with Billiam, no doubt.
Well, Billiam hasn't posted jobs on Facebook. Corbin did, and it was, minimum starting pay was 17 something an hour, and that's with zero experience in a field that I do have experience with. So
it's not too bad.
No, and that's 17's not great, but it's enough to get me to move.
It's enough to live in with a roommate.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, especially if that's minimum starting pay. I saw that and I had to put the phone down and go to sleep because I didn't want to. The job I have now is pretty cushy, so
it's nice to have one. All this COVID's got me staying inside and doing nothing.
Yeah, and luckily I do have the benefit of being able to work from home now, which I do not enjoy, but I got paid today, so shit. What can I complain about?
Yeah, no shit, dude. It's a pretty good thing, especially in today's day and age.
Yeah, and my sister and her boyfriend, they're both in the restaurant business, and they're without jobs.
Yeah, flat on their asses, man.
Yeah, I had to file for unemployment. I mean, they're making their bills, but still, it's got to be so much more stressful than having that regular income,
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, the I don't feel like anybody's really going to be upended by anything because
I hope not.
What. Yeah, for the most part, people won't because, what are you going to do? Take 700 people to court for fucking evictions? Like, it's not going to happen. You're going to end up reaching a settlement. So, but it's a fucking nightmare is all it is. Everybody is going to end up losing money. But I don't think people are going to end up homeless and shit because of it,
I hope
and
not.
not be able to eat. There's already a ton of places. Like I know there was a place near me that they gave away 500 pizzas for free the other day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, dude, it was nuts. And what's crazy about it is they're like this little indoor golf place, right? Where you can you basically hit a golf ball against like a giant projector screen and it measures like the spin of the ball and all that, and it shoots it down a digital fairway or whatever. So it's pretty wild. They got like a little putt course, but those guys offered fucking 500 pizzas for free the other day. It's pretty nice.
That's fucking awesome. So
yeah, there's been a lot of cool shit going on.
Usually, I'll not usually, but Monday through Thursday, I take lunch to work instead of ordering out. And on Fridays, I go to this one spot and I eat. But since I've since all this shit has been happening, I've been looking at DoorDash stuff, and I get DoorDash from local places, not from, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, that shit.
Yeah.
And today I discovered Chuck E. Cheese is on DoorDash.
That rat pizza.
None of the slices line up. It's like it's a bunch of different slices from different pizzas.
Oh, that's like fucking Little Caesars. Those dudes can't cut a pizza to save their life.
Don't shit talk Little Caesars. Shit.
Hey, I'm allowed to because I worked for Little Caesars.
I lived on Little Caesars for like a year straight. Them $5 hot and readies.
Oh man, dude, working at that place is crazy because like, there's, I got to see every single part of that job, and by far, they put the dumbest people up at the register.
Oh, yeah, because dumb people can't make a pizza, but they can take money.
Yeah, like it's really easy to punch in because it's a touch screen. They go pepperoni pizza, click, check out, enter, and it's done.
Dude, do you have Hungry Howie's down there where you're at?
Yes.
Oh, fucking miss Hungry Howie's. Oh, it was such good pizza.
Dude, man, Hungry Howie's is really good pizza. And it's a shame because I haven't been there in forever. Like, I haven't been there since I was a kid.
Get that fucking Cajun crust on it. Oh, shit is so fire.
Yeah. When I was a kid, that was actually the crazy thing, is the crust used to suck when I was a kid.
Oh.
But now it's pretty good.
The crust is really fucking good. I wish we had Hungry Howie's in Tennessee. I miss that shit.
Yeah, dude. The one thing Tennessee brought to Florida that was awesome was the
Marco's.
Well, Marco's is pretty good too.
Fucking love Marco's.
You guys had the Wendy's breakfast for a while.
Oh yeah. That was a northern Tennessee thing. When I was married, living in North Tennessee, I got to see that, and when I left, it wasn't around much. But now it's all over the place.
They just got it here in Florida, like I would say the beginning of March, and it's been a godsend.
I still haven't tried it.
Oh man, I'm a sucker for chicken biscuits.
Do you remember going to Taco Bell and getting breakfast up in Oregon before Taco Bell breakfast was a thing?
No.
No.
No, I've only been going up to Oregon. Well, the first time was in 2013.
Well, for OKCA is what I meant.
Yeah, that was 2013, I think. And
wait, was it? I thought it was 2012. I was there in 2012.
2 years. Yeah, you guys didn't tell me that it was going on. I was also AWOL. Yeah. But I didn't realize it was going on. Otherwise, I would have been there. But I think I went up the year after that, which was 2013.
Gotcha.
And then I didn't start going up to Oregon regularly until 2017, I think. Yeah, because I've been up there 3 years now. It's a lot of fun, man. That's probably what I should do next time I'm up there is do the daily drops up there. Is because I'm with Nate.
Oh man, and the scenery up there is beautiful. Oh, and we could use the daily drops again. Dude.
Yeah, daily drops. It's kind of crazy because daily drops have kind of been watered down and bastardized. If you want my opinion on things, which nobody's asking for, but this is our podcast.
Hey, what's your opinion on daily drops, Dave?
They've been bastardized.
They did start out as a good thing. I think Ashflow started it, right?
Ashflow did the daily drops.
Nardath the daily flips, but Ashflow had the daily drops.
Yeah, Nardath started the whole daily kind of thing. He was trying to do something at least innovative every single day, and he did it pretty long. It was like 3 or 4 months. I don't remember exactly how long.
He went a while. And even when he was on holiday, he had somebody take his place.
Who, Nardath?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
No, he would take a holiday here and there and would have somebody do the video for him in his place. It wasn't often, but it did happen.
Yeah, I don't necessarily remember that, but the only thing I truly remember is he had a huge catalog after the whole thing was over, at least, because he missed a day and it died. And he ended up having like 3 or 4 forums on balisong techniques just dedicated to all of his daily drops.
Yep.
Which is super impressive to put out a video that is at least innovative or something new every day is fucking impressive.
Yeah, and that was the difference between him and Assflow. Nard put up a different combo every day, whereas Assflow would just get on camera candidly and just flip until he dropped it.
Yeah. And then it, now it just ended up becoming like, I guess the best way I could put it is just a fucking soapbox for some people, to just talk about stupid shit or
I think
chug
that's
a bottle
my
of
fault.
Smirnoff and flip in a sock and
because nobody was talking or anything during the daily drops. It was just flip until you drop it, and then I decided to do it one month and told a bunch of stories, and then people tried to emulate that, and it just got weird. And then people that were doing the daily drops would elect their friend to do it next, and once you got into a clique like that, it became a nonstop click fest. It was this guy and his friend, and then his friend.
It's a circle jerk.
Friend.
It's what it is.
Yeah,
it's a fucking circle jerk.
And Lucas, you motherfucker, I'm calling you out. You were supposed to do daily drops for March.
Oh, I remember that too. I remember it too. Oh, jeez, we got him.
And it wasn't supposed to be just him. It was supposed to be all a squid, and then nothing happened. So Alex, Alex, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Alex Faria, after his month was over, it was supposed to be squid, and then it just died out again. So we just let it die out on BFBK because it became a hassle because we didn't want the daily dropper to pick their friend so that friend could pick their friend, etc. Admins, we preferred to choose who it would be, and it just became tiresome.
Yeah, it's it's hard to just elect somebody to do that because it's one thing to say, oh hey, this person's going to do it, but it's a different thing for somebody, for themselves to decide, all right, I'm just going to pump out good content every single day for a month. There's a huge difference in that.
And Alex did that. He took to the stand and he said, "Hey, I'm going to do this month." Perfect.
He did
great.
really good with it.
He did great.
I just think everybody at that point was kind of burnt out on daily drops for sure, because his viewership was nothing like mine was, and mine was shitty. And I don't contribute that to my status at all. I just, because there were some days where I didn't really do shit. Like there was one day I was suffering from my kidney stones and I just talked on camera. I don't even think I flipped.
There were some days you just threw a fucking stick around.
Oh, that was one day because...
No, that was like 2 or 3 days, son. That wasn't just one day.
No. No, I wouldn't do that just a bunch of days. No, that was one day.
I didn't say a bunch. It was like 2 or 3. It wasn't just one day.
It was just one day because I did want to I remember that because, I wanted to kind of show off my weak ass skills in something else. But, I have done a lot of different quote unquote flow art stuff in the day.
Oh yeah, you and me both.
I kind of wanted to highlight the fact that because people used to ask me a lot, how I got into doing aerials and all that crazy shit, and it's like, dude, it didn't start with balisongs. I've been playing baseball all my life, so I'm used to knowing how things have to fly through the air in order to catch them. So I really had an unfair advantage in some regard to most people. Throwing a knife in the air is nothing compared to having a fucking 60-mile-an-hour ball or faster getting hit at your face.
So you know how we all have those ninja moments that nobody ever gets to see, where your bottle of spice falls out of the cabinet and you catch it in midair?
Yeah, no shit.
Has that increased for you since you've been flipping balisong?
Oh, for sure.
Man, it happens to me all the time, and nobody ever fucking sees it, and it's always so good.
It's always so fast, too.
Fast.
The thing that makes it a lot easier is, when beforehand, you're kind of always afraid to drop something and something bad happening. But when you're dropping a knife, it's like you know something bad's happening, and when something drops now, you're like, oh, it's not a fucking knife. Let me just go ahead and grab it.
Yeah, if it hits my foot, it's fine. It's not a balisong.
Yeah. But yeah, that kind of stuff is definitely increased. The aerial stuff, it's increased. But I really wanted to show that a lot of the flow art stuff really does contribute to the progression of balisongs.
Well, I think it goes both ways. When I was living in Florida, I was working for that fire troop up in flames. I was lighting shit on fire and spinning it, and it came to me so easily because I had been flipping for 10 years or so at that point. And it was just natural. It was just using my whole arms instead of just my fingers.
Yeah, the same concepts go on, but you like you said, it works both ways. But you can you translate both concepts into each other. There's a lot of things balisong wise I would have never figured out if I wasn't playing with a fucking stick.
Yeah.
And all the they call it contact staff and staff spinning or whatever.
Yeah.
They all get pissed at me when I call it stick. That's why I always call it stick.
Oh shit! I think stick is a much better term for it than contact staff.
Fucking awesome. Yeah, man, for sure. It sounds pretentious. Even balisong kind of sounds a little pretentious, if I'm being completely honest. It's like, oh, that's not a butterfly knife. That's a balisong. All right.
No, I disagree with you there. I hate hearing butterfly knife.
I'm.
Let's just call it a moth blade from now on.
A moth blade.
Yeah. It's the same fucking words, right?
The Matt Cook mantis blade.
Ugh. Matt Cook.
Yeah, let's not get on that. Let's keep this going about flow arts or something else.
Literally anything else.
Yeah, no.
So
kidding.
Paulo Balzano. No, I'm kidding.
I still got
his
knife.
I'm kidding. I didn't. I'm kidding.
I still got his knife from PVK. That one. That's pretty wild.
You mean the one we threw on the ground every 5 minutes?
No, it wasn't that bad. But
don't tell Balzano that.
Dude, the fucking funniest thing about that is Sean Jarma loved that knife. Lone Star Ninja. He loves that thing. He still asks me every time I see him to send me that knife.
Just give it to him.
I've been thinking about it, but the funniest thing about it is he asked me to even let him compete with it in the Bally Comp.
Really?
Right? Yeah, and he did. He competed with it the entire Bally Comp.
Maybe he would have done better with it.
It wasn't... Oh, man. It wasn't even until the next day. I can't remember who it was. If somebody was like, dude, is this thing even sharp?
Fuck no.
And then everybody's passing it around. There's not even an edge on it. Nobody even cared to fucking check.
Well, even at the house... Within the first 5 minutes of having that fucking thing, we realized it couldn't cut hot butter.
I don't remember that part, but I know it was after the blade comp that Sean realized that it wasn't sharp, and he's like, "Oh well, fuck me! I could have beat Corbin."
He didn't even get up to that level, so.
Sean was in he was in at least the top 8.
I think I beat Sean, didn't I? Didn't I go against him?
I don't remember, dude. I was sitting there. I was chatting with Les Diasis, which is actually a blessing, dude, because it's the last time I got to see him.
You got there 30 minutes late, didn't you?
No, I was there the whole time.
Then why didn't you compete?
We're gonna get into this. All right. I didn't compete.
Let's go,
I was I was protesting this year because, there was, for one, there's way too many people competing in that competition.
That's good. That's a good thing. I think it's a good thing to have a lot of competitors.
I don't. I really don't, because, most of the balisong flipping that goes on does not happen in 5 seconds. Sure, it does present a bit of a challenge for people, but it doesn't give people an ample opportunity to show off their skills.
But a lot of people, that's the point, I believe, because most flippers don't show off within 5 seconds. Like, I'm guilty. I don't show off my skills in a 5-second video. It's going to be a minute and a half, 4 minutes long. So 5 minutes or 5 seconds. Hey, show us what you got. Here's the time limit. Fuck you.
Yeah, but I don't think that really allows people to put on their best performance. And realistically, like, that's what we're there for. We want to show people skills. We don't want to show people what they come up with in five seconds.
But a skilled flipper could come up with something decent in 5 seconds. I mean, look at Corbin. Corbin won first place last year. We all know what his videos are. It's the same copy pasta over and over. But given the 5 seconds that he had, he took full advantage of it and did some wild shit. Even
we're also getting into another.
He did some wild shit in the 5 seconds that he had.
Yeah, well, Guy Connor Lester, in my opinion, flipped way better than Corbin did that entire time. And part of this, we're getting into another reason why, I protested the competition this year is, two of the judges we have in that competition shouldn't really be there. I know that Blade HQ has said that the reason why those people are there is because they want people who don't know about flipping to be judges, and I don't agree with that at all. I think all of the judges need to know a lot about flipping.
I will not disagree with you on that point.
Because, there's just things that are so incredibly difficult. Like, most people know what a giraffe is.
I don't.
And I don't know if I'll bother to explain it, but it's
I know it's some weird bite handle scissor ladder thing, but I don't give a fuck enough to learn.
Yeah, it's fucking incredibly hard. I'm not gonna deny it. And fucking Joff nailed one. Like, he nailed one and the crowd went fucking nuts. At least the flipper crowd went nuts. And he ended up losing that round. And I'm like, dude, there's no way.
The crowd, the amount of flippers in the crowd is so small. It's mostly just people that want to see other people throw a knife around,
Yeah, but, the judges should have realized how difficult what he did on one try was able to do.
Oh, you're 100% correct.
That's another reason, which is why I actually volunteered to be a judge this year.
I would like to be a judge this year as well, but I want my free fucking grab bag.
Yeah, no kidding. That's what I miss the most, really, is my free shit.
Yeah, that's why I keep competing to get that free brown paper bag of free shit.
I got a t-shirt, so it's cool.
But did you get a Flytanium spinning top? Or a Flytanium straw? Or a squid sticker?
I've got enough BRS dice to hold me over for a fucking lifetime.
I gave half mine away a few months ago.
Yeah, but, I just...
They still need to come out with a D20. BRS needs a D20. I'm tired of this D6. We're all nerds. We all need a D20.
We'll see. Yeah, we all need, like, the D&D dice set is what we need.
Yes. Oh, my God. A whole set. That would be amazing.
That would be fucking sick.
D10, a D4. Oh, yes.
I've never played D&D. But, yeah, I want to be doing, like, what you guys were doing for a while and just do, like, a little online crawl or whatever.
And that was a great time.
Trying to get into it.
Unfortunately, I was the reason that ended because I picked up a weekend job and we were playing on Sundays and I couldn't keep up, so I just dipped out and I think it just kind of fell apart. I feel bad about that. It was a fun time though. I still remember the story about being in the sand. What was it? It was like a cave full of sand and this big ass snake and shit. It was a good time.
Yeah,
it's just so difficult over Skype.
Yeah, I ended up, reading a bunch about it because I didn't know the first fucking thing about Dungeons and Dragons other than fucking knives and nerds. Did I say knives and nerds? I should have said dice and nerds.
Knives and nerds, it still tracks.
Yeah, kind of similar. But, so I had to watch a bunch of YouTube videos of people I couldn't stand watching YouTube videos of how the whole thing works and all the different editions and all this stupid shit.
There's a podcast called The Adventure Zone, Taz for short, that it's all about them playing Dungeons and Dragons, and they explain it pretty thoroughly. And there's another podcast called This Is Rad, where actually today they just came out with their third Dungeons and Dragons episode, and if you would listen to those, it would help you figure out how the game works.
We're trying to get people to listen to our podcast, pal. Come on, buddy. Let's
hey,
stop
I listen to a
promoting
bunch of podcasts. I will promote every single fucking one of them on this show if I like it. Anyways.
Yeah, the main reason I even started getting you guys involved with this whole thing is because, I ended up binge watching a bunch of Joe Rogan one time, and I was like, dude, I want
Fuck
to
the Joe Rogan experience.
Hey, say whatever you want.
Fuck Joe Rogan experience.
He does a good job on it,
Fuck Joe Rogan experience.
After, to kind of tie this thing back to what we started earlier, is when I went to school, after I decided I didn't want to do videography and sit in front of a fucking screen all the time, is I was going to do radio broadcasting. That was my next thing. So this is kind of like me clinging on to the last bit of that, I guess.
No, I totally get where
I
you're coming from. I mean, radio shows is what I look forward to every day in the mornings when I worked early. And then I stopped working so early in the day and shifted to this weird schedule I'm at now and discovered podcast. I mean, I've only been listening to podcasts for 3 years now, and it's so much better than listening to, radio or these morning zoo specials every morning,
Yeah, I can't do all those shows where they got like all the fucking sounds going off and all that crazy shit,
No, I don't listen to that morning zoo shit
anymore. Mike in the morning. Yeah, like all that stupid shit, dude. Like that's crazy. So, there was a couple of shows that I remember as a kid. We used to have this guy called Mark Summers, and he was like a local legend around here. They had the Mark Summers, Cindy Lane, and Dahmer show, which was fucking awesome. And they ended up firing those guys to put on Howard Stern, which was the absolute, like, that was the end of the whole radio station, to be honest.
Him and Joe Rogan on the same level for me as far as podcasts go.
Ouch. We're about to fucking fight.
Let's go, bitch.
Like, there's no way. Howard Stern's such a fucking douche. I hate that fucking guy.
I do like Joe Rogan as a person more than Howard Stern.
Yeah, oh my god. Howard Stern, Jesus Christ. But then, so I ended up getting into the Bob and Tom show after that. He's like a nationally syndicated guy, so a lot of people can probably relate to that.
Do you have Lex and Terry down there in St. Lucie?
We at least did for a while.
So I listened to Lex and Terry every morning when I was down in Pensacola.
Yeah, we at least had him for a while. I don't know if he's still on or syndicated or whatever, but
they still. I know they do a podcast at least. I'm not sure if they're on any syndicated radio station or anything, but I know they still have. I follow them on Facebook, so I still see their shenanigans.
Yeah, I didn't get into them too much, but those were the main people I listened to around here. Oh, the other people we had was called the Love Doctors. And those people were really good. They actually used to broadcast from actually in my city. So I just remember as a kid that, every time we had like a hurricane or some crazy shit going on, like that's all anybody would listen to, because they would put those guys on for fucking hours at a time during those times, because it was a good way to get out like news and information and stuff. Yeah. So it's like one of those lullaby things. Like, you watch like a cartoon or something all your life, and then it's like, let me put this on, and then you fall asleep immediately because you're so used to that like voice or whatever. That's what those guys kind of came to me. And one of the guys retired a few years ago, and it's just never been the same. So that's kind of shitty. But been radio showing for a while.
Yeah, and a lot of the podcasts I listen to, they're all very structured, but they always have a guest, so the structure is played out differently every episode. But even now with this COVID thing, they're all broadcasting from home, and it's just the hosts with no guests, and it's kind of cool to see how they adapt to the situation at hand.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where I want to get at some point with this podcast, to have a real structure instead of just flying by the cuff with, bullet points, asking people different things. But we're still early on it. It's still work in progress.
Yeah, I don't really know, because one of the things that kind of attracted me to,
because all you fucking listen to is Joe Rogan.
You took the words right out of my mouth. But that's something I really enjoyed about his podcast, is you get to see sides of people and celebrities and stuff like that you normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
He did a podcast with Kelly Slater, the surfer.
Yeah.
And you just get to see, he grew up less than an hour from where I'm at in Cocoa Beach. So he's like a local hero around here. So it was really cool to see sides of him that you don't normally see, where he's talking about, surfing and, doing his normal, oh yeah, I want to thank God and, all this crazy shit, and my wife and whatever.
My wife.
Yeah, I want to thank God and my wife and my manager and the guy who pays me money. So, that's something I really enjoy, and something I always wanted to showcase on the show is show people sides of people that they probably won't see.
For sure. But there's, I think having a structure in place is just as valuable. There's one podcast I listen to where it's a daily podcast, but every episode they have a different guest for the most part, and they ask them, what is something from your search history that reveals the type of person you are? What is something that you feel is underrated? What is something you feel overrated? And what is something that is a myth that you believe to be true? Or what is something that is true that you believe to be a myth? And it's different answers from every person every time. And it's very, very interesting. And it's expected. Oh, I know it's coming, but I don't know what the answer is going to be. And it's exciting per guest,
Yeah, I definitely think the big part is making sure things are kosher. I want people to feel like they're in the conversation with us.
Oh, of course, yeah. But I mean, we can steer that with. And I'm not trying to push a format on anything.
No. You're right, because even this is probably the most winged podcast we've ever done.
For sure. I can't believe we've been going on for an hour now.
Yeah, that's just because we've known each other forever. But
for a long time.
Yeah, no shit. Most of our lives.
We're getting so old, man.
But we do have a bit of structure. We research the crap out of some people when we bring them on.
Oh yeah.
There's definitely things we want to ask them, and there's usually certain questions that kind of go for everybody. Okay, how did you get started? What brought you in, and stuff like that.
What was your first Balisong?
Oh yeah, god damn it.
That's a great question. That's the one I would like to stick around, because that's always, because it's never just, it was a BM51. End of sentence.
Yeah,
it's always
it's usually a fucking CCC,
and I got this knife because this happened, and here's my life story.
Yeah, it's usually like a CCC. Or
it fucking should be. If somebody tells me their first Balisong was a 87, I'm ending the podcast.
Well, in a case like that, it's usually because somebody gave it to them. It's not because they found something. I'm ending the podcast right there.
I'm hanging up.
Don't hate on my 87. You're gonna hurt me, dude.
I hate the 87 and the Tachyon 3.
You're gonna hurt my feelings.
Well, no, I like the Tachyon 3. That is a good knife. I take it back.
I was just flipping my 87 the other day. I'm like, how can people fucking hate this thing? You guys are killing me.
I won't go there.
Yeah, everybody thinks it looks like the McFly. We all know that it looks like the McFly.
I disagree with that. I think looks had nothing to do with it. As pro latch as I am, that is the only knife that I firmly believe flips better without the latch. Fuck that stupid magnet latch and those stupid fucking ridges on the outside of the handle.
I think we might have discussed this when on the squid cast, but I'm going to go back to it anyway.
Oh no.
You should have seen the look on those guys' faces. And this was well after the release. This is when I went to Benchmade headquarters in Portland, or near Portland, I should say. And they were like, I was like, you guys do know about centrifugal force, right? And everyone's like, yeah, you know. It's like,
yeah,
so,
math, numbers.
Yeah,
stuff.
So you know that the hardware, the magnets, and the latch all weigh 8 fucking grams, right? And they looked at me like I was a fucking wizard. And I'm like, dude, that's... you know, it's like, it's not that hard to figure out. You know, the more weight you have on the outside of that circle is going to mean the most. And you put 8 grams extra on one handle. You know, of course it was going to be a nightmare. But yeah, I don't put my fucking latch on. And it flips great without a latch. It's amazing.
It flips great without a latch, which I will never say about any other knife ever.
Yeah, too bad we're still recording, even though we were supposed to end this like 2 minutes ago.
Hey, I will go on record as saying 87 flips better without a latch. I don't give a shit.
You know, I go back and forth. Like, there's some knives that I feel like have incredibly good latches. Like the 42T latch is my favorite latch. I will never take that latch off, ever. Because it's so easy to flip with it. You know, it doesn't weigh a whole lot. It doesn't get in the way. It's just incredible.
I feel that way about every Balisong except the 87.
Yeah, there's some I really don't like. I can't even really think of any right now. Oh, bare bones. Fuck that latch.
So I think that's a good latch too.
All right. This is a good time to end it. Fuck you.
All right. Well, where can you be found on social media, Dave?
Where can I be found? Fuck.
Yeah, you said you started a new personal page on IG, right?
Oh, no, don't.
You don't want to be found there. Okay. Well, where do you want to be found on social media?
I don't. Faulty Ply. That's Davey. Faulty Ply. If you search that, you'll find me.
Yeah.
What
Phoenix
about
Fire.
you, stupid?
FEENXFIRE makes no grammatical sense, but that's where you can find me on Instagram and I think YouTube. I'm not sure my YouTube. Oh yeah, Sick of Theists. Yeah, because fuck God.
Oh Jesus, we're all going to hell. We're dragging you guys with me. Anyway, peace out, guys. See you in hell. Oh fuck, I shouldn't have said that. God damn it.